Specific to general or general to specific? Yan ang pag-usapan natin ngayon dito sa ating matsayang talakayan. Kaya, stay tuned! Hello, grade 8 learners! Today, we will discuss inductive or deductive reasoning. Before we begin, let us observe the sequence of shapes below. Describe the pattern that occur. What is the next figure? Can you determine the next figure? The next figure is correct. Okay, so ano mapapansin natin in the pattern? On the first pattern, makikita natin dito on the right side, we have two triangles. And then next pattern, on the left side, we have two circles. Next figure we have on the right side is a square. And then on the left side is we have triangle. And then next figure on the right side, we have two circles. So on the next pattern, we have squares on the left side. And on the next pattern, we have two triangles on the right side. Okay, so kung papansinin natin, alternating left and right na magkaparehas ang shape. And then ang pattern ng shape ay triangle, circle, square. Then triangle, circle, square. Okay, doon sa pattern na yon. And then, kung titingnan natin yung mga kasama niyang shape, kung ano yung magkaparehas na shape, wala na siya doon sa kabilang side ng pattern natin. Okay? So that is how we observe patterns in the sequence. So let's try another. Find the next item in the pattern. So this is what we call identifying pattern. So we have January, March, May. What is the next item in the pattern? You are correct. The next item is July. Since we have alternating months of the year, make up the pattern. Okay, so yun ang pattern natin. Alternating months. So, tingnan natin, January, then walang February. March, then walang April. May, tapos walang June, and then followed by July. Okay, that is our pattern. How about this? What is the next item in the pattern? We have 7, 14, 21, 28. Okay, so the answer is 35. Why? So it is multiples of 7 make up the pattern. The process that we have is what we call the inductive reasoning. So let us define now inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning is the process of gathering specific information, usually through observations and measurement, and then making conjecture based on the gathered information. So based doon sa example natin kanina, we have gathered specific information. So meron tayong observation ng mga previous example before we come up with the next item in the pattern. So, yung pag-observe natin ng pattern, so that is what we call the process of gathering information. And that is what we call inductive reasoning. And also, we are looking for the patterns and making conjecture is part of the process of inductive reasoning. Now, ano nga ba ang conjecture na sinasabi natin? Conjecture is a conclusion made from observed data. It may or may not be true. Ibig sabihin, whatever the conclusion that we have ay galing doon sa observed data. It doesn't matter if it is true or not. And conjecture is an unproven statement that is based on a pattern or observation. Since ang mga sagot natin ay galing lang sa observation natin na pattern, so it doesn't matter if our conclusion is true or false. Now, let us have example in making a conjecture. The sum of any two odd numbers is blank. For us to make the conjecture, so we have to cite some examples. So let's say we have 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 1 is an odd number. Then 3 plus 13 is equal to 16. 3 and 13 are both odd numbers. Then we have 5 plus 1 is 6, and we know that 5 and 1 are both odd numbers. Then we have 21 plus 9 is equal to 30. 21 and 9 are both odd numbers. So what can you say about the sum of any two odd numbers? So we have 2, 16, 6, 30. So those are examples of what we call even numbers. So in our observation, each sum is even number. So therefore, our conjecture is the sum of any two odd numbers is even. That is what we call our conjecture. Okay, now, so in the process of inductive reasoning, first we have to look for the pattern. Then, the next step is to make a conjecture. After making a conjecture, we are going to prove the conjecture or find the counter sample. Ano naman ang tinatawag na counterexample? A counterexample is an example that shows a conjecture is false. Ibig sabihin, ito ang evidence o magpapatunay na ang ginawa nating conjecture ay hindi tama. Okay, for example, given the conjecture, the sum of two numbers is always greater than the larger of the two. Again, the sum of two numbers is always greater than the larger of the two. Okay, so ano ang counterexample natin dito that will make the conjecture false? So let's say we have 0 plus 3 is equal to 3. So meron tayong dalawang numbers dito, 0 and 3, and their sum is not greater than larger of the two. Ibig sabihin, yung sagot natin na ito ay nagpapatunay na yung sum is not greater than any of the two numbers, yung 0 and 3. Okay, kasi sabi niya, but 3 is not greater than 3. Okay, so in a statement, we can also have example in inductive reasoning. Halimbawa, every quiz has been easy. Therefore, the test will be easy. Okay, how did we come up with our conclusion that the test will be easy? Since it is based on our experience that every quiz has been easy. So we will expect that the next quiz or next quizzes will be easy. So that is what we call inductive reasoning. Another, the teacher used PowerPoint in the last few classes. Therefore, the teacher will use PowerPoint tomorrow. So, since we have our experience that the teacher will use PowerPoint in her lessons or classes, we will come up with our conclusion that the teacher will use PowerPoint in teaching tomorrow. So, what is its difference in the deductive reasoning? So, let us study deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning uses facts, definitions, accepted properties, and the laws of logic to form logical arguments. Deductive reasoning also uses basic and/or general statement to arrive at a conclusion, meaning that deductive reasoning ay galing muna sa definition, sa mga ideas natin, facts, bago tayo mag-arrive at the conclusion. So, meron ka munang general statement na susundan, yun ang magiging pattern natin bago ka magkaroon ng conclusion. So, if you're going to give difference inductive and deductive reasoning, sa deductive, manggagaling muna sa example bago ka mag-arrive at a conclusion or general conclusion. Sa deductive, from general facts or idea bago ka magkaroon ng mga example. Okay? So, deductive reasoning has two parts. The first part is what we call the hypothesis. The hypothesis is the statement which is accepted or known at the beginning. Okay, then we have the second one, conclusion, the statement drawn from the hypothesis. So, hypothesis, ito na yung statement natin which is our basis for the conclusion. So, let us have example. Number 1, Filipinos are hospitable. Annalyn is a Filipino. So, what do you think is the conclusion? So, we have the general fact that Filipinos are hospitable. Then, given an example that Annalyn is a Filipino. So, what can you say about Annalyn? Correct. Annalyn is hospitable since Annalyn is Filipino. Next example. Every insect has 6 legs. A butterfly is an insect. So what can you say about the butterfly? Correct. A butterfly has 6 legs. Well done, grade 8 learners. Let's have another. Number 3. If you want a good health, then you should get 8 hours of sleep each day. Aaron wants good health. So, what is your conclusion? Correct. Aaron should get 8 hours of sleep each day. Another. Right angles are congruent. Angle A and angle B are right angles. So what can you say about angle A and angle B? Perfect. Angle A and angle B are congruent. Great job, grade 8. Another, if points are collinear, then they lie on the same plane. Points are M and N are collinear. So what can you say now about points R, M, and N? Excellent! Points R, M, and N lie on the same plane. Now, so let us identify if the given statement is inductive or deductive. The Alaska basketball team scored over 75 points in each of the 10 straight games. The newspaper predicts that they will score more than 75 points tonight. Is it a deductive or inductive reasoning? Perfect. So it is inductive reasoning. Since we have in our statement the example or specific example, before we come up with the conclusion. So, it is inductive. Next example, inductive or deductive reasoning. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. The next item based on the pattern will be 18. Is it inductive or deductive? Correct! It is inductive reasoning kasi nauna yung mga example before we have the conclusion. Next, 2 angles are supplementary. One of the angles is 80 degrees. So, the other angle must be 100 degrees. Is it inductive or deductive reasoning? Correct. It is deductive reasoning. Why? Nauna kasi yung ating definition. So, anong definition dyan? Two angles are supplementary at alam natin na kapag supplementary, the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. Well done! Well done, grade 8 learners! Now, it's your turn. You have to get your paper and pen. Then try this activity. Number 1. Predict the next number in the sequence. 1, 4, 16, 64. Then for number 2, write a conclusion on the given statement using deductive reasoning. Here is the statement. All quadrilaterals are four-sided polygons. A kite is a four-sided polygon. Write down your conclusion. And that's for today, guys. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Again, this is Teacher Dali na nagsasabing, practice makes perfect. Thanks for watching!